Welcome to another edition of the Fearless Football Forecast. The whole crew is back.
Together again.
Yes.
Together again.
Boys are back in town.
Been Lizzie.
Wow. Can't believe you know that, young
All
buck.
people.
Right.
Good on you, man.
That was for Tony.
Yeah.
All right, well, back to normal business here. Football season's wrapping down here, guys.
Up and down.
A full, yeah, we're wrapping up. A full slate of games here. Everybody's at home. In a rare Pitt County thing that I don't remember ever happening in the past. Not since I've been here.
I think we've had weeks where we've had everybody home, but some teams playing each other. So I guess technically not home, but everybody playing in county.
Yeah.
But this is the first time I remember 6 county schools playing in the county at 6 different sites.
Same here.
It's great for football fans. Yeah. Maybe not for newspapers. We got to figure out how the heck to cover it.
No kidding.
But yeah, we'll get back to you on that. All right, well, let's start it off. Tony, first game here is a good game. Looks like a good matchup. Washington's at South Central.
Yeah, I've seen South Central a lot this year. Still kind of an enigma. We don't really know what we're going to get, but I think getting Ethan Rogerson back at quarterback really helps that team. Kind of solidifies what they do offensively when he's back there running the show. This is maybe the best game of the week on paper anyway.
Yeah, I think so. What's your pick there?
I want to pick South Central because they're at home. I think Rogerson, as I said, I think he'll be a huge factor in that game. I think it'll be close, but I think the Falcons get the win.
Okay, Jim?
I'm going to go with South Central, too. It's kind of hard to tell how good Washington is. They're 3-2 in conference, coming off a pretty good win over Conley. But right now, I think I want to see what South Central does at home. I think they'll eke out a close win.
Okay, I'm going to make a third straight pick for South Central there. I love Rogerson's back. He played really well last week. He's the difference in that team. There's no doubt.
Sure.
And Washington, yeah, they beat Conley last week, but they've been inconsistent a little bit.
Yeah.
And you never know with Conley last week, the motions they were going through.
It's a different Conley team they were playing.
Exactly. I mean, it's not like they beat the Conley team of 2 months ago.
No doubt.
So, all right, next game, Jim, Jacksonville at D.H. Conley.
Yes, another interesting Coastal Conference game. The standings are pretty packed, solid there. Yeah. No one's caused, other than Havelock, no one's really creating separation, so there's a lot of room for teams to maneuver. Yeah. And these are two teams that are still trying to improve their resume for the postseason. You know, Jacksonville's 6-3, but only 3-2 in conference, and then of course Conley's been through what they have been through with all the forfeits. Now are 1-4 in the Coastal. It'll be interesting to see what kind of Conley team comes out. You know, it's got to wear on the kids with all the attention they're getting to find out that 2 wins they thought they had were taken away. You know, but maybe this is something where they kind of rally and come back and win the last couple games of the season and kind of make a run for a playoff spot.
I think it's kind of wear on the coaches, too.
Oh, yeah.
It's preparation time, and the kids and the coaches.
Yeah.
Who's your pick there?
You know, I'm going to pick Conley. I think last week was an anomaly. I think they're going to come back, and we're going to see that Conley offense we've seen all year. And I really think they'll win this game by more than a touchdown.
I couldn't agree more. I'm going with the Vikings. I think last week it was too close to the situation. There's so much going on this week, or last week. I think this week things slow down a little bit more. They're a little more secure as far as, all right, this is what we have going forward. Let's do it. I think they're more focused. I think Conley gets a win there. So,
Jacksonville's defense has been pretty solid all year, except for the game against Havelock, and Havelock scores 100 on everybody. But, you know, the running game that Conley has is obviously going to be different without Gorham around, but they still have weapons. That running game is still solid. It'll be an interesting matchup. I think Conley will get a close win.
Okay. Next game here, Bedingfield is at North Pitt. I saw North Pitt play last week. The Panthers are on an absolute roll.
Yeah.
They've won 4 in a row. They beat a Farmville team that has some momentum going because Farmville just broken that big losing streak. The big thing with this game this week, if North Pitt wins, they clinch second place in that conference. And that's a conference that we talked about every year. You know, you got Tarboro, you got Kenton, you got North Pitt, Southwest Edgecombe. If they finish second, that's a huge accomplishment for that
I think
team.
so, too.
There's no doubt. My pick in that one, I'm going with the Panthers, but I think it's a scary game because Bedingfield's coming off a bye. Bedingfield's had some good moments, some bad moments. If the good Bedingfield team shows up and North Pitt struggles, maybe looks over them, I think they could lose. But I think the Panthers win a game and close that thing out. What's your pick, Tony?
You know, Bedingfield still has that bad taste in its mouth from losing to Farmville. So they're going to, and as you mentioned, coming off the bye week too, I think they're going to come in there ready to play. It's going to be a tough challenge for North Pitt, but them being at home, and as I've said it all year, the variety of different looks they can give you offensively, I think it'll be too much for Bedingfield. I think the Panthers win.
Okay, Jim.
I think Panthers win. I think they clinch second in that division and that conference. they're playing really well right now,
Mm-hmm.
and they keep surprising us each week.
Yeah.
Not that we're surprised that they win, but how well they play in these games. I think it's says a lot about how good this team really is.
Yep.
I think getting that Tarboro game out of the way early really helped out, and
That's a
now
good
they've
point.
kind of gotten on a roll. So I don't think they have any problems at home this week.
Yeah, they're a talented group, that's for sure. Next game here, Tony, New Hanover's at J. Rose.
Yeah, Rose is also kind of like South Central. You don't know what you're going to get. I've seen them and South Central the most this year. And I've seen Rose in arguably the most exciting high school football game I've ever seen when they beat Laney 47-44. But then they go out and get hammered the next week on one of those road trips to Wilmington.
Yeah.
You just don't know who you're going to get. But you know one thing, it'll be an exciting game. I haven't seen a dull game at Rose yet this year.
Good point. Who's your pick there?
I'm going to pick New Hanover just because of the number they put up on Laney last week. I know that Rose put up even more points against them, but that was a completely different kind of game. New Hanover had no trouble with Laney. I think New Hanover gets a win.
Okay, Jim.
Echo Tony on this. I got to go with New Hanover on this. They're playing really well right now. I like to see, Rose seems to give up a lot of points.
Always.
They're now score teams.
Yeah.
And it's gonna be tough, I think, to keep up with New Hanover offensively.
Yep. New Hanover 7-1. Only losses to New Bern. We know how good New Bern is.
Yep.
Rose struggled to stop the run a little bit last week. New Hanover traditionally is a power team, good offensive line.
Yep.
Quarterback, running backs. I think offensively, as y'all said, they're too much for Rose. Jim, next game here, Princeton's at Aiden Grifton.
Yeah, this one should be a kind of a laugher, you think, for Aiden Grifton. We talked about last week's game with North Duplin being the tough test heading into next week's matchup with Goldsboro.
Yep.
The only thing you got to kind of worry about is kind of sleeping on this game and looking past it. But Cornwell's been through these games before, and he knows how they get those kids ready. They're rolling right now. And unfortunately, Princeton's just going to be in a way of that. Everybody getting excited about that game on next Friday.
Yeah. All right, you going Chargers there?
Oh yeah. I mean, I don't think it's a question right now. The way they're rolling, they had an impressive win on the road against North Duplin, 33-14. And you don't see teams put up 14 points against Ingrid.
Oh, I know. Yeah, it's true.
That says a lot when you look at 14 and think, man, that's impressive. But I think Ingrid's got too much.
Yep, I agree. I think even if they do kind of sleepwalk through, I think they take care of business.
I think instead of it being a game that they're overlooking, I think Cornwall's going to use it as a tune-up for that Goldsboro game. I think the Chargers win easily.
All right, last game here. I'll preview this one. Tarboro's at Farmville Central. Not too much you can say about this one. You feel bad for Farmville. Injuries got them again last week. Malik Foskey's a little banged up. Probably not going to play. Tarboro is Tarboro. I mean, they're rolling. But, Farmville's at home. Tarboro, I did notice, has given up some points this year. They've scored a ton, but they've given up some as well. So maybe the Jaguars can hang in for a while, which they've had a tendency to do for sure in some games this year. But my pick for that one has got to be Tarboro. I mean, I don't think Jaguars can pull the upset.
Yeah. Without Malik Foskey, that's a completely different team. And I don't think Farmville stands much of a chance against an 8-0 Tarboro team that just continues to roll.
Yep. Yeah, there's a reason why Tarboro is the top-ranked 2A team, and I think they just keep rolling here. It's a little too tough a task for Farmville.
Yep.
Truth.
All right, well, plenty of football games out there for fans to see, so go catch one. Grab a paper and see reflector.com, and we'll see you next week.
Sweet.